Welcome to Geek Outings. Four lifelong friends, four different cities, here to talk about geeky things because that's what we do. Today, we're going to talk about the Clone Wars finale, penultimate. Phantom Apprentice is the name of the episode. Such a mockery of the Phantom Menace, especially once you watch the whole episode. Episode 10 of the Clone Wars, Editor, coming out of San Antonio, Texas. They're going to open the city up in like 2 minutes.
Hey, as always, Bobby Joel Cole here in Santa Monica, California. Here to give my review of episode 10 of Clone Wars. I was going to ask how many episodes were left. I didn't know if it was the penultimate, if there's 12 episodes this season. But yeah, they kind of left it in a way. It's like you can't really tell if there's 1 or 2 episodes left. But, dude, Darth Maul's in the house. So let's get on with the geeking out.
Boba Fresh from San Francisco. I like how my skull is perfectly lined with the ceiling. Can't wait to geek out with y'all.
Rob Lucy here with my lifelong friends talking about geeky things. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. Coming at you high above Mandalore in my Star Destroyer, about to bombard the planet.
You know what's something I noticed about the beginning of this episode? Something that Lucy pointed out last week is we opened with the little Lucasfilm intro. It's very subtle. But then instead of the big ba-ba-ba-ba with Clone Wars, it was like horror movie, like Clone Wars intro. It was like kind of eerie and like, I thought it was cool though. They kept it different and I liked it.
That goes to the dope logo that also is the retro style of Clone Wars in the red, which I thought was a really nice touch. They are doing fan service in a very, tasteful, can you do highbrow fan service? If you can, they're doing it. And it's working. You got me. I'm in line. I'm in the soup line.
Dude, the major fan service, out of nowhere, and they don't just drop it once, Darth Sidious names gets thrown all over. And so I have some questions here because I haven't seen the series and stuff. But anyway, so Darth Maul is talking to Ahsoka in the beginning, saying that we have some mutual friends. Those are his words. First off, what does he mean by that?
The first monologue, he does not know who Ahsoka Tano is in the sense of being Anakin's Padawan, but he does whatever background check that he does when they get back to the throne room, and then he kind of puts that information out there, which was dope to have basically a Sith apprentice, master apprentice seduction going on, seduction to the dark side going on, which I thought was pretty cool.
Like she's a Padawan for hire kind of free agent?
No, that he was trying to be like, we can take out Sidious in the same way that Vader was telling Luke, together we can take out the Emperor, we can take out Sidious also. A lot of things that were done in this episode were echoes of episode 3's and episode 6, which I thought was really well done because, as Ed said, we're winding down and they've done a good job with this arc, kind of getting us to that return/revenge era. What do you think, Lucy?
Good points all around. I think what might not be known in depth by some of us here, or definitely some of the people that are watching us, there is a very specific rule of 2 when it comes to the Sith Lord. There's the Sith Lord and then his apprentice. When you go into the very first movie, Darth Maul is Darth Sidious' apprentice. He gets killed by Obi-Wan Kenobi. That leads Count Dooku to be the new apprentice. We all know now that Darth Maul wasn't killed. Dooku gets killed, which Darth Maul may have felt through the Force because, again, there should only really be 2 Sith Lords or a master-apprentice relationship, that's when Darth Sidious or Palpatine starts grooming Anakin very subtly along the way, just kind of planting seeds. All during this time, if you go back to season 5, Darth Maul wants to be the Sith Lord and starts training his own brother as his apprentice. So they're still working with that rule of 2. And that makes the dark side of the Force very different from how the Jedi use their powers. I don't know if it makes them any more powerful, but as a Sith Lord, it keeps the rabble down. It's like you have less people to worry about when there's less people wielding the dark side.
It reminds me of like the mob, you know,
Yeah.
since it's like 2, it's like, well, you know who's going to kill you? It's going to be your best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so your apprentice is going to be the one who's going to take you out.
Your friends close and your enemies closer. And I think every Sith Lord or Sith Master knows eventually that his apprentice is going to try to turn on him down the road sooner or later.
I definitely think that is built in, but is it just a master and lord? Because that rule ends up getting expanded on in Rebels, because as soon as you introduce the Inquisitors and their lightsabers and they're force sensitive and their lightsabers are red, so they've obviously used a crack crystal and they've tapped into the dark side. So
no, well, I mean, well, they had Asajj Ventress the whole time. Yeah,
exactly. So he was grooming a lot of different characters to become the next apprentice.
So it could be like generations.
Well, no. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Is it really that, or are they just constantly either using people to be killed, or they're grooming the next person to replace them? Because it seems like even if you go into like the Force Awakens video game, like, was he meant to replace Vader, or he's just his apprentice to help him get shit done, and then he's going to end up getting killed anyway? Because the way Palpatine uses his apprentices, from what we can see, is that they're all expendable, and until Darth Vader, they were not meant to last very long.
I'm
Grievous.
gonna say this. A long time ago, Lucas painted himself in a corner by saying there could only be 2, and now the universe is so expanded, and people want there to be more stories that take place within this timeline. That's why you have Vader having an apprentice, so we've never heard about Asajj Ventress and all these other force-sensitive Sith practitioners. And in regards to the Obi-Wan and Ahsoka interaction over Anakin, that was the best Obi-Wan I've seen in Clone Wars, in the sense of the voice and his cadence. Like, before, Obi-Wan's always been that cocky, like, oh, Anakin, you're going to get yourself in trouble and not get a lollipop after this. You've been a naughty, naughty little dandy. And this was finally like, yo. He was doing one of these, yo.
Oh, yeah, he seemed a little haunted. He seemed a little, like, questioning, and, yeah.
Yeah, so he does mention that they know of Darth Sidious. They know Darth Sidious is the one that's playing the Republican, the Separatist. He's playing both sides.
Yeah, exactly. What?
And the Palpatine is a suspect. What other suspects are there at this point in time?
Dude, I know. It blew my mind.
Who else are they looking at? Dooku's already dead. He was suspect number 1, but the plan's still rolling forward. They're going after General Grievous. And now they say, okay, so Anakin, you're the closest to the Emperor. We want you to spy on him. So we know where that leads right away.
Yeah, but I think that you just answered the actual question. In the movie, I think that Grievous, without being explicitly stated, is a high priority target and a possible
suspect.
And that's why they send Obi-Wan, who is the trusted master, to go deal with that, instead of sending Anakin, who's been a little bit flip-floppy, wish-washy.
So they're keeping Anakin close to home so the rest of the council can keep an eye on him.
And out of fighting, so he has less chance to fall to the dark side through violence.
Spoiler alert, it backfires.
He doesn't accidentally kill anyone else.
I do also think it was a testament to Ahsoka to question Obi-Wan asking her that and being like, wait a minute, what's Anakin doing? Oh, you mean spying? Like, on somebody that's like his advisor, trusted friend. Like, you guys were asking him to do that? Really? Okay. Cool. What do you want me to do? No, I'm not going to do that. Like,
which is funny because that was one of the few times in this season that I was yanked back to Hayden Christian Anakin. And I was like, those two are talking. I was like the cool Anakin who just left last episode with a little bit of, hey kid, I'm gonna check you out later. He's gone. He got lost in the warp. He got lost in the warp drive.
All right, so let's go to Darth Maul reading minds like Kylo Ren. We've not seen that before now, correct?
Dude, he was straight mind raping, dude. I even wrote that in my notes. Like, he was just straight up like, you're going to tell me or you're going to break. Like, he had no concern for him.
Has that been a thing before, though, Strutter? I don't remember reading that in comic books that they could do that. Like the Force healing. Like, Force healing is kind of new. I feel like this is... I mean, you can see the future. You can kind of get the gist of people, but actually taking their knowledge and putting it in your head, I've never seen before.
I've never seen it before, and I'm not sure if it's a force power either, but I also was like, they're going off camera, and they're not necessarily saying that he's using a force power to read his mind. He could just be using a force power to crush his nuts individually. You know, I'm literally just throwing that out there. And so anyway, I'm just saying that I don't know if that was explicitly, I'm going to make this guy's mind break. But no. They said that he was the oldest and had the most memories. And so that's why he took him. Yeah, no, I don't know. That's how you make canon. You do one thing in one episode and boom, the universe is literally changed. You can now read minds with the dark side. They have cookies.
I would like to also title this as a segment called Maul Sees All. He's the only character in this whole fucking series from beginning to end that has the ability to see everything as it unfolds, before it unfolds, and after it unfolds. I wish there was a Star Wars series from Maul's perspective, because the things he's seen, the things he's done, the things he's been a part to, things he's changed. I mean, he could have changed the future if Ahsoka actually joined him. Like, there's a lot of, it's almost like a what if series. If you could have
a great point, Ed, especially. But I think if you look back on the whole series of Clone Wars, Darth Maul has probably a dozen episodes that are, directed specifically at him. Like they give Darth Maul's origin with the Night Sisters and then his brother, and they get pretty deep into Maul. He's being more calculated and savage here. He has a plan, a bigger plan. He mentions to Ahsoka that he doesn't care about anybody on Mandalore. The only reason he started this war specifically to get Anakin and Obi-Wan to the planet. Doesn't care about anything else, and he's out there. He's looking out the window just watching these people go crazy, and he says, hey, I did it for this, but it's even better that you're here because you're the secret piece. We were the apprentices that were used by our masters. You saw the hypocrisy of the Jedi Council. I know that I've been used by Darth Sidious. So us together. So what you guys were saying before is him trying to seduce her to his side.
100% agree with you, Lucy. I just think on the show we don't say that enough. As I've rewatched a lot of our episodes, you nailed that one. Good job.
Amen.
In their own way, they did an amazing job of what you just described, Lucy, is normally what I always complain about as being ham-fisted exposition. Like, you and I are both paralleled apprentices, and don't you see your masters are wicked and my master is wicked? And normally, had they done that and it was a mirror, oh my gosh, it's Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man. Oh my gosh, it's Ironmonger and Iron Man. Like, they did an amazing job highlighting the different paths that they've taken to get to that particular point. And that fight was phenomenal.
Yeah, leading up to that fight, Ahsoka, I have one question for you. Why Anakin? And it comes down to like a revenge plot. The thing that struck me was, you guys mentioned it earlier, Ed. Darth Maul was 110% correct with everything he said, and Ahsoka looks him in the eye and said, "You're seeing it wrong," and then they go at it. She has her perspective. She's wrong, he's right, but it leads into an amazing fight sequence. The editing, the sound was so good for the next 5 or 10 minutes.
And so, but that's what goes to that great writing. What you just pointed out is because the writers presented this knowing that we knew that Maul is right, knowing that we knew that evil was right and that good was wrong, because good is stupid, good is dumb. But again, like, all of this amazing exposition that led to this fight with the chaos going on outside, and it just all dovetailed beautifully, and I really enjoyed it.
I mean, you have that scene of Maul offering his hand to Ahsoka, and in the background it's just Mandalorians fighting clones. You have the basis for the clones fighting themselves. So it's just like, no matter what happens in any scene, it's like awesome. People are just shooting rockets out their back. I mean, it's amazing. And then like that one scene when the glass finally explodes and they're not even tripping, like the glass is like slow motion going everywhere like some Matrix shit, and they're still just having their one-on-one, like bombs are going off everywhere. They're like, nah, we're right here. Like, we're having our conversation. And then
it'd be funny if she caught a little bit in her eye, like, oh, my bad. Give me 1 second. I just,
emotion clouds your view of the Force and the will of the Force. So that's where Ahsoka was wrong, because Maul was 100% right. He already knows what's about to happen. Partially because he was involved with, Sidious, and then that was the other thing I forgot to mention. Sorry. Last time we see Maul and Sidious talk to each other is right after he killed his brother in front of him in the Clone Wars, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to kill you, man. I have a use for you." So, what is that use? He took over Mandalore, and I don't even think they're going to rob the Beskar right now. I don't know what's going on. I thought it was going to be the Beskar robbing, but when he yells, "You're all going to die, you're all going to catch fire," whatever the fuck he says, I think he's saying that the universe is going to be different, but he could also be saying that the Empire is already coming for the Beskar, because that's why they put him there in the first place.
So like, she was fighting the other Mandalorian, so they're having that crazy battle. Flamethrower, he like boots her into the elevator shaft, and we find out Mandalorian jetpacks are really, really strong. And then as I'm watching it, I'm like, no, actually jetpacks don't work like that. Her arms would be crushed. Do you realize, like, it was pushing her up against the thing, and she's somehow just like holding it up, and then she like,
That's not Beskar, bro. Beskar.
No, it's funny you say that, because I was actually thinking about what it would look like to physically fly with a jetpack. And normally, wouldn't your arms dangle? Like, you're not gonna try to lift against gravity. You're gonna let them dangle, and then you're gonna fly up. So I started like analyzing. I get you, Bobby. I was analyzing it exactly the same way. Like, this is not realistic.
A little bit.
So let's go to that scaffold fight. Let's end it off. Ridiculous, unnecessary, but I loved it.
Yeah, like that fight. I assume they got homeboy Ray Park back. I'd be curious to see who they put in the animatronic suit for Ahsoka. I mean, that had like right, like that.
They used animatronic suits for that.
That was really smooth.
Yeah,
really smooth.
It's funny. I was watching it with Jen, and I was just like, dude, he's doing the same fucking moves from episode 1, and you have
I
not
noticed
seen
that. Yeah, he was
or you
doing.
haven't seen that in any Clone War episode up until now. And I'm just like, dude, like, even like, okay, if you watch, it's what I call the hopscotch move, where he's on one foot and he jumps forward on the same foot and then attacks again. I'm like, how do you even have enough like power to back it up and then come off one foot off your hopscotch jump and attack again? It's like, it's the Mike Tyson thing, you know what I mean? Like, he can swing super hard with his right and use all his weight, but somehow he centers and then comes back again. And it was so reminiscent of that. I was like, damn, man, there's no way, no one can draw that off here. You have to watch somebody do it. Or it's just, attached to them and they're in a suit or something. But, man, he did a lot of, like, there's a lot of little like, weird little pirouettes he did and the spins and stuff.
And so, but that's what I was thinking is, like, they could recreate his, moves that he'd done in episode 1 and render that. But, like, Ahsoka's moves are so smooth and just, like I forgot what her exact style is, but the ability to use the small Shoto blade and the bigger saber together and the flipping and her style was way more defensive, and she was determined, like, I'm bringing you in. Like, I'm going to bring you in.
All right. On that note, glad to be talking about this great episode. Editor coming out of San Antonio, Texas. Geek Outings. Loving these guys. Loving yous guys. Click, like, subscribe.
All right, another great time reviewing another great episode. I can't believe, I think there's only 2 left. I think they're both going to be great because it's really heating up. Super fun geeking out with my friends here. And, until next week, you know what I say from Santa Monica, California, keep on geeking on.
Hi. Great episode, everybody. Having a good time. First daylight episode that we've done, and I realize that I've been indoors for 50 days, and I am super pale. Jesus Christ, I look unhealthy. So I'm going to go eat some oranges and try to go for a walk. Have a great time. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay geeky. Geek on. Geek out.
Signing off from high above Mandalore, Rob, Lucy. Once again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Ed, Rob, and Bobby for making this happen. I know you guys made some special arrangements around my schedule. Greatly appreciated. Look forward to next week's episode. See ya.